Hey guys, AquaUF here, and I've just learned that the Nintendo 2DS XL has recently been announced and will be out soon in around July. Now, I have a 2DS, like the non-XL one, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised that Nintendo has decided to do this and pretty much launch a brand new 2DS. And it's really weird because, like, the 3DS XL and, well, I don't know, like there's multiple 3DSs now, but let's just go with the 3DS XL, which is, a DS where it kind of like folds closed and open, and then it has obviously 3D capabilities given its name, and the 2DS has it doesn't fold and it has no 3D features to it, which is kind of like something brand new for DSs because it's just kind of like something you hold in your hand, kind of similar to maybe like a phone. And so that was pretty much what made it unique. But now with the 2DS XL, it's foldable, kind of it's pretty much the same thing as a 3DS, except it doesn't have 3D, which is, I don't know, like it feels like they're kind of just making it so that people buy it because there's no point to it. Like why would I want to buy that? I suppose if you really don't want 3D, then you should buy it, but it's kind of better. And like I said, it depends. They said the price is going to be around $150. Now, I'm not too sure how much the 3DS XL cost when it came out, but even if it's like, let's say $200, or I would want to say it's maybe around 200, I'm not too sure. But like, let's say it is around 200, and you're paying like maybe $50 for, the 3D. Is it worth it? Like honestly, I don't really use the 3D really because I don't have a 3DS, but I've used other people's 3DSs, and I don't know. Like it's one of those things where it doesn't necessarily like hurt your eyes, but it's just a little weird to look at, and sometimes it doesn't really work well. And I guess it also depends on how the game exactly implements it, because some games obviously is probably better than others. But that brings me to a completely other thing about Nintendo is that all of their games are made by them. There's no like third party, kind of like PlayStation or Xbox, for example, where they come out with, let's say, a new PlayStation every like 4 years or so. And then people make games for those, and they're always better, and there's always improvement upon stuff. But with Nintendo, everything is very similar. Like sure they have some great games out there. Like a lot of the games they make are, like classics, and just honestly, I love a lot of them, But I don't really find myself to play my 2DS that often, and that's obviously a personal thing. But I just kind of feel them having so many devices, it's kind of pointless because the 2DS XL will be able to play games that are compatible. Like the 3DS XL and the 2DS XL are going to be, the games are going to be compatible with each other. So, let's say you have a game for your 3DS XL, then you can use it for your 2DS XL too. But they just came out with the Switch, so that would mean that, and the Switch is portable too, so that's something really weird actually, which is kind of like crazy if you think about it. But the Switch is, their new console slash mobile device where, you kind of put the handles on this little, I guess like a tablet, and then you can play it, or you can hook it up to your TV and then use the handles as kind of like controllers, similar to the Wii remote and the nunchuck that came with the Wii. And it's also going to pretty much have like have a similar style and stuff to the 3DS XL. Like it's going to have the C stick and amiibo support, and as I said before, it's going to also have, compatible games. But something though, they did finally get like one thing that made me kind of think that, alright, this is something a little better than 3DS XL, is that they're going to have some pretty cool color options. So far they seem to have a white one with orangish or like kind of golden colored buttons, and then they also have a black one with light blue buttons. But other than that, it's pretty much the same thing as a 3DS XL, which I don't know. I don't really know why they did that, because that makes me question, are they still going to make 3DSs? Because if the whole point of having a 2DS was that, it's flat and obviously it doesn't have 3D, but that was pretty much one of the main points, is that it doesn't fold. And so them making the 2DS fold is like, what the heck, it's like it's no longer a 2DS as the original was. So I guess it's kind of completely branching off of what it was supposed to be. So, what are they going to do? Because now if they come out with a 3DS, then the only difference between a 3DS and a 2DS is that one has 3D and the other doesn't. And if the 2DS, is a significant amount cheaper, or even like, I don't, even like 50, like maybe $20 to $50 cheaper, I would completely rather buy that than a 3DS, because I'm not going to use 3D anyways, And it turns out that they do have sort of a spreadsheet of a comparison between the 2DS XL, the 2DS, and the 3DS XL. And it's kind of funny because the prices the price for the 2DS XL is $150. The 2DS is $80, and then the 3DS XL is $200, meaning that for $50, you're pretty much just buying 3D capability. And for a lot of people, that's enough of a reason just to, spend $50 less and buy the 2DS XL, which is honestly probably going to cause Nintendo to lose a bit of money there. Though, pretty much it is all about the games, honestly. If you think about it, like, the only reason to buy a 2DS, or pretty much any Nintendo product, is just because the games are exclusive to that device. Like, let's say a game developer makes a game and they put it out for the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. Then there's a lot of competition between those three platforms trying to make their devices better for, games to run faster on it and have a higher quality. But with Nintendo, it's kind of like they're the only ones making games for it, and they can pretty much do whatever they want, and people are going to buy it just because their games are honestly pretty good. I mean, if you think about it, they have, pretty much the entire Mario franchise, which is huge. They have Pokemon, which is honestly, like, just given the sheer amount of insanity that Pokemon Go caused for the whole world, it definitely shows that it's quite a popular game. And just like all of the things that they have, a lot of people enjoy their content, which is great, but I just think that it's really weird they would make so many different devices, yet they're so similar to each other. Because even if you think about it, like, why would you get a 2DS if you have a Nintendo Switch, or, vice versa? So I guess, like, I'm not too sure if they're making exclusive games for the Switch or not, but I don't really think they would, but I'm not too sure. Though it is definitely an upgrade compared to the 2DS, because it has, like, all of it was pretty much like they merged the 3DS and 2DS together. Or honestly, no, that's not even true. They pretty much just took the 3D, like, it's the same thing as the 3DS, except it doesn't have 3D, which is kind of, like, really weird, as I've said. But, like, the spreadsheet, actually, I'm probably going to leave a link to this in the description. It's actually pretty useful. It's like a comparison, and something that's kind of odd for me on here is that the data storage for games is only 4 gigabytes, which, and it's 4 gigabytes for the three of the devices too. And I'm not too sure, like, I feel like if they were to put more, storage into their devices, then that could give a lot more to their games and make them, save stuff a little differently. But then again, I'm pretty sure that a lot of the data from your game probably saves on the cartridge itself, which honestly I still think is kind of funny that, they still have cartridges. But they also do have a store that you can buy games on. And so I guess they kind of rely on you to buy maybe like an SD card and use it, because I'm pretty sure most of them do have SD card slots. But I feel like the new, like, the future is kind of bringing us towards downloading games online and not actually having a physical copy of them, which is pretty much what Nintendo's original basis is kind of, you always have DS cartridges or the Game Boy cartridges and stuff like that. So the fact that it only comes with 4 gigabytes is honestly kind of a little. And just the last couple of things, it is going to be a little bit lighter, approximately like 3 ounces lighter, which isn't too much, but it's still helpful, especially for, a mobile device. And that's about it. So, I don't know, those are just kind of my thoughts on them making a new DS that is pretty much the same thing as the 3DS, except they're marketing it as a completely different device. But I don't know. I guess it's up to, the user, because I'm like, sure, I have a DS, but I don't really use it that much. I'm not too big of like a Nintendo fanboy or anything, but I bet a lot of people out there are. So tell me what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.